Hi, this is Chef Rick, and today I'm going to be cooking a tomato ketchup. Okay, off we go. So we're going to start with a can of plum tomatoes, a 400 gram can, straight into a blender. Going to add to that some minced garlic, 3 cloves, some black pepper, and some sea salt flakes, and then whiz that all up till it's obviously all completely combined. And that's the tomato liquid that's going to be the base for our ketchup. Into a large pan, olive oil, minced onions, and just over a low heat. This whole thing is going to be over a low heat, kind of a low to medium heat, but all we want to do is soften those onions. So just keep working on that for about 5 minutes, giving it moving it around the pan. They'll take on some colour from the olive oil, of course, but you don't want them to brown or cook. So I've been working these for about 5 minutes now. Softening up really, really nicely. Smelling beautiful. Don't forget that smell is always the key to whether something is cooking or not. Keep working around the pan. You don't want them to stick. You don't want them to burn. You just want them to get to just soften up nicely. In with the tomato mixture that we made earlier. And just keep mixing everything together. This way I'm mixing at the minute, just taking from the outsides and mixing across, just ensuring that everything gets a really good even covering. Brown sugar, cinnamon, chili flakes, fennel seeds, allspice, cider vinegar, and tomato puree. I forgot all the ones that were going in then. I might have got the allspice and cinnamon the wrong way around, but it doesn't matter really. And any of the spices that you've seen me put in there are completely optional. Things like the chili flakes, I've put loads in there. Lots of people put nutmeg instead of allspice. And you really mix and match. Once you've made this ketchup once, I promise you'll make it again, and you'll find exactly the way you like it. But the things that you're definitely going to need in there is the cider vinegar, the sugar, and the mixed up, obviously, tomato that we did at the beginning, and of course, salt and pepper. And now, that's it. Everything's in the pan. We're just going to keep working that same pan over and over. You're going to have it on a low to medium heat. I think, yeah, you see that shot there? You see how it's bubbling away? That's what I would call a low to medium heat. So it's not violently boiling, but you are getting bubbles coming up through the bottom, so it is cooking. Steam coming off. What steam is, it's water. The water coming off is thickening it because obviously it's losing liquid. And how I test the thickness of this sauce, or any sauce, if you see if I just scrape my spatula or whatever you're using across the bottom, see how now you scrape it and instantly it kind of comes back in. You'll see as this starts to thicken and thicken, you'll be able to scrape it along the bottom a lot easier without the... See there, now I've scraped it on the bottom and the sauce is not instantly joining. I mean, just keep coming back to it. Just keep coming back to this every 5 or 10 minutes or so. Leave it on the stove as you're doing something else. Like I say, it's probably going to cook for about 45 minutes or so. If it takes you an hour, then it takes you an hour. But just take your time with it. You don't want to rush it. You certainly don't want it on a violent boil, because tomatoes, especially for some reason, when they're on a really violent boil, they just bubble and shoot everywhere. So keep this on a low to medium heat. Oh, of course, as well, after each time I've done my little test where you've seen me scraping it, see how I'll always make sure the whole bottom of the pan is covered again. Now look at that. Imagine doing that at the beginning. Of course, you know it wouldn't have happened. You would have scraped the spatula down the middle and the sauce just filled in the gap. At least this way, you can just see how thick and lovely this is getting. As with every single thing, adapt it yourself. If you want a bit of a thinner sauce, if you want a super thick sauce, leave it a little bit longer, but you'll see the consistency that mine comes out at the end. I mean, look how thick that's getting now. Where you can scrape it to the edge of the pan, but it's still liquid. And here we go. We're getting towards the end now. This is about as thick as I want it in the pan. Steam's going to keep coming off it, so it's going to continue to thicken ever so slightly afterwards, but I don't want to overdo this. I still want this to be, I put this in a squirty bottle at the end, so I'll take it off the heat there. Make sure that the sauce is covering all over the bottom, just to give it a last sort of even steam, and just leave that to cool. Let that cool right down, because after this, you're going to want to put it straight back into the blender and whiz it until it's smooth. It's not going to go as smooth as like a Heinz tomato ketchup or something like that, unless you really whiz it, because this. Don't forget you've put like proper ingredients in there. You want it to have a bit of consistency. That, by the way, is not my blender going absolutely mad. I'm shaking it at the top to help it along. There you go. So I just had to give my blender a bit of a helping hand here. The less that's in a blender, the more work you have to do. If this was full, it'd kind of find itself and you wouldn't really need to shake it like that. But that's life, you know, sometimes you've got to do these little extra bits. Help get it nice and smooth. And there you are, that's a finished tomato ketchup. It's absolutely gorgeous. I'm going to blow my own trumpet. It's as good as any ketchup you'll have. Work out the way that you like it with your own herbs, your own spices in there. Obviously, I put that in a container there for this picture, or in that little pot for this picture, so you can see exactly what it looks like. But after that, I'll put loads into a squeezy bottle, put it in the fridge. Look at that, gratuitous, dunking a chip in that. Oh, I could have one of those right now. Beautiful. Double dipping. So what? It's just me here. And this was just a bit silly. The next morning, we were going out, so made everyone bacon and sausage butties. Which one of them would you pick? Hey, which one did I go for? Oh, which one? Yes, absolutely. Plus, it's the one I fingered as well, so I thought it was only fair. And that's it. Tomato ketchup, thank you so much for watching the video. If you liked it, please click like, and if you want to see more from me, click subscribe. It really helps me. And again, thanks for watching. I'll see you in the next video.